When you're ready, Matt.
Hello everyone, welcome back. It's time for a surprise run. That's right, the final run of the event is going to be by Anti-Aaron in Hardcore Uprising in the Rising Mode Bahamut category. We are, of course, still trying to raise money for special effects, so if you can donate over the course of this final run, it's !donate in the chat. But for now, for this final run, I'm going to hand things over to Anti-Aaron. Just remember to give me a countdown when you're about to start the run so I can begin the timer.
All right.
Ready? Ready as I'll ever be.
You ready, man? Ready, Temp?
Ready?
All right, hey.
All
right, I am Anti-Aaron, and welcome to Hardcore Uprising Ballet Style.
We're good. We're.
And you are, my friend. Sorry.
We're good. They currently can hear us, right?
They can't hear us.
Can they? No, sorry. I say they currently can hear us, I presume? Yeah, you can. They can. Okay, we're good. Sorry. I slipped with the tongue. Yeah, hi. Tempest here. Good gosh. So, quick talk. I was supposed to be the closing runner, but then tech issues happened, so Aaron is having me jump on because he's a good pal of mine, and I also happen to run this game, so we're making up for this in our own unique way, and we hope you all enjoy this fantabulous Contra game.
Yep, and I overslept yesterday, so we both kind of had issues on our main events. So here we go. I'm gonna load this up. I'm gonna start the prelude. And basically what this is a new game theme plus a run and gun where I am fully upgraded, but the music, I'm gonna have fun with it so that this is more cinematic. And 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, so folks, here's what you need to know about Aaron and his little special treatment of the game, if you will. So this man is not only the world record holder of quite a few categories on the leaderboard due to his many years of dedication, but on top of that too, he's also found that the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack works quite well with the game's own gameplay. And so what you're seeing here is essentially a set list that, as he mentioned, is going to be played out as he's going through the gameplay, making it feel pretty cinematic, give it a special bit of breath of fresh air. So anybody that might be seeing this for the first time that may have witnessed any other run of Aaron that uses the main game soundtrack, yeah, you're going to be in for a bit of a treat. Otherwise, I will say the base game soundtrack is fantabulous in its own right. This game was developed by Arc System Works on account of Konami Digital Entertainment asking them to make a Contra game that is a spiritual prequel to that of Contra Hardcore for the Sega Genesis. And as some of you may know, in that particular game, the Japanese version has a health bar instead of the one touch you're dead that most Contra games are typically known for. So that's why Bahamut here has a health bar as compared to most Contra games. Now, on top of that, Aaron did mention this is basically a New Game Plus type of run because Rising Mode features a bunch of upgrades that you can apply to all the characters, including the DLC ones, and this allows you a bunch of different perks. You're noticing that he's starting things off with 30 lives. That is the most lives you can start off with through that particular upgrade chain, and it is also a callback, a very obvious one at that, to the Contra code that was present within the first game. Yes, so a very nice callback to that too. Of course, he's also got a few other things like being able to start off with the laser gun off jump, and he will continue to do so. It starts a level with a blank slot, because you're noticing that Bahamut has 2 gun slots. So Hardcore Uprising features the ability to swap between said gun elements, but you can also lose it if you happen to take damage that applies knockback to your character. Knockback can happen in multiple different ways. This game can be pretty fickle about it, but for the most part, Aaron also has an upgrade given to Bahamut, which will try to negate that sort of damage. It's sort of a super armor upgrade, if you will, but he can still take clear-cut knockback if there is such as a mid-air hit, or even when he's riding on a vehicle in this particular section. So, what you're seeing here is the second chase where that bad guy from the Empire, the Commonwealth, got eaten by the Lotus Worm here, and now he's going in for one final round. and this will mark the end of the first particular stage to our 8 in total for this game. Now, quick warning to some folks that yes, some of these levels will be auto-scrollers. We'll be trying to go through things as proceeded or as planned. And if all goes well, you're basically going to witness Aaron practically not, which, again, this game is a Contra game. That's not easy to say the least, even with our Rising Dawn perks. But overall, good first level, and with that, we have now made it on to the jungle area. And one thing I would like to point out is that this game does feature English voice acting from, I do believe these are actors that may be stationed directly in. I'm not entirely sure, but I do know that sometimes tends to happen with games like these. And I certainly can say that as a voice actor aficionado myself, I never actually heard of these talents until having played this game for the first time. But one of my favorite lines coming from Bahamut is whenever there's this level that starts up, or a boss we'll see later on, he says, "I hate spiders." So keep an eye out for that when we get to it later on. Otherwise, you just saw another one of those energy gates. Those are obvious callbacks to the original Contra yet again, and we saw one earlier in Stage 1. That should, I believe, be the last time we will see it in the game. There's not a whole lot of blatant repeats of bosses in general with this. The developers really did a good job trying to mix things up with each sort of segment of it. And yeah, this game really can test your limits on how can you avoid enemies, how can you dodge things. Which brings me to Aaron's action button. One other perk that Aaron can get for Bahamut is a series of action commands, which have different conditions, like for instance being able to deflect bullets, or dodging through enemies, shoulder tackling through props within the level, which is why he was able to destroy those sandbags and push them into other enemies, and even better, those can do damage to those enemies, so there's all sorts of stuff that Hardcore Uprising basically rewards you for knowing your game. And I would also say too, okay, so that was, that was our first instance of losing a gun. Like I said, anytime he takes knockback, that will happen. Unfortunately, not much you can do about that sometimes.
Nope.
That's the name of the game, though.
Yep.
So, we should probably take a moment to talk about our character, because the leaderboard does separate the different types of speedruns generally by which character you are playing as. And also, we do run the game off of IDT, because at the end of every results screen, you do get a cumulative total of how much time you've played the game so far, which is probably at its most reliable. And Bahamut is one of the 2 default characters alongside the other gunner character, Crystal. The difference between the two is that, if I'm not mistaken, Crystal has a bit more health to her and is a bit faster, right?
Faster, yes.
Yeah, so Bahamut is generally all around when it comes to that. He's also the basic character. Whenever most people think of hardcore, right, they think of it. We also have Harley. And we got Harley. Right. I was about to say Harley, but then I tried to correct myself. I think I got Octopath Traveler 2 on the brain.
Yes, it happens.
Harvey! No, we have Harley, and I gotta say, shout out to whoever designed him with that slick hairdo. And then we have Leviathan, who we actually saw piloting the Knight deck, and he is therefore a enemy faction character, but it's also funny that they did make him playable. So his gameplay is actually a bit unique compared to all the gunners, because he is only given one element to use, and therefore makes his gameplay the hardest to work with, understandably so. But overall, the biggest thing about this game in terms of its playable characters is the DLC character Sayori. And you may be familiar with Aaron normally running her. The reason for this is because she uses a blade playstyle and effectively turns this into Contra meets Ninja Gaiden. Her gameplay is the most busted and breaks this game in half. It is a very beginner-friendly category. The DLC is still available to purchase, and you are noticing that he is running this on a Xbox Series X. Now, this game was released for the Xbox console family, but also the PlayStation 3. And while we do allow the use of emulator, Xbox is very much easy to get still to this day because it is backwards compatible. It's one of the several Xbox 360 games that are still purchasable to this day, which is good because for those who do not know, the Xbox 360 marketplace is no longer usable to purchase games that were not backwards compatible. So if you do wish to get this game for yourself, you still can. You will be able to download it, and I'm very thankful for that too, because it is still an enigma to me as to how we do not have either a Switch port or PC port for that matter. And one of these days, I'm still hoping for it, even if it's but a fever dream.
Everybody is waiting for it.
True. So we have a very unique boss set in level 3 here. You're noticing this temple. This was a basic Indiana Jones style romp, and as we're going on this little water raft ride, this will bring us to a nice little reverse waterfall section where you climbed it up in Contra NES. This game also does take place before Contra NES because Hardcore is a prequel to that. And then we got going down the waterfall instead of going up. So no need to worry about the camera scrolling here because that thing ain't going to turn into your death pit. Not anytime soon. Now we have our final boss of this level. So earlier you saw the 573 Tigress. It'll now turn into the 573 Draconis into a more waterlogged boat-like form. And Aaron wants to try and get the core exposed and then try to one-cycle this boss before it tries to go back in and eventually push you off. It can also push you off just by using some of its attacks if you're not too careful. So again, easy boss fight to figure out, especially if you've kept your laser and heated plasma up until now. And as Aaron's going through this particular boss, I think this would be a good time to have our host talk about any announcements or anything that we need to know about our charity potentially. So Matt, take it away whenever you got a moment.
Absolutely. Remember, we are trying to raise money for special effects. This is the last run of the live stream. We have raised £230 so far. That is just £20 away from our grand total. We're trying to... If you can.
Great. Thank you very much, Matt. And with that, we're now moving into our fourth chapter. So welcome to the Central Highway, and look at Bahamut playing that guitar. That's what I like. It's what I like to call the animation. It's just one of those things.
And the song
It's
is
especially funny.
and the song is perfect for it. I was like,
Oh yeah.
who is getting this song? Who is getting this song? Who's getting it? It's Bahamut.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Aaron's playlist within the Final Fantasy soundtrack does vary per character. He has not only just done the overall feat of setting this up in general for the speed run, but also just this man goes and does something unique for every character. It's incredible.
Well, I am freaking running them all back, back to back in a row. I'm like, I don't want to hear the same, 8 songs, 5 times. So let's make this, special. And I was like, okay, someone has to have this, someone has to have, I mean, lay down rubber.
Yeah. Now that was a mini boss, by the way. Yeah, that was just a simple mini boss. Try to duck under it when it's destroyed. Otherwise, I guess you could jump over it. The game doesn't give you a double jump, or no, wait. You normally have a double jump again? It's been so long.
You normally have a double jump. Only Harley is the only one who only has 2 because he is the basic freaking run and gun only character. So if you want to do a run and gun, you have Harley. If you want to freaking go fast, you have Crystal. If you want to, be hardcore, you have Leviathan because of his freaking slide and freaking one gun.
Indeed. handicap is actually one thing that I would say works well to the whole hardcore playstyle that some Contra players love to put themselves up to. And even then, this is not even counting the fact that we also have the standard arcade mode, which does require you to play the game without your buffs from my game.
Yeah, and Leviathan only one hit point.
Oh yeah. So yeah, as if that wasn't enough, Leviathan is easily the hard game of the bunch, and he's easily the one that I would say challenge players would love to get their hands on.
Yeah, we do need a legacy too.
That's true. That is a very good point. Yeah, so like I mentioned, this game only exists on 7th generation consoles as its point of origin, but it is worth mentioning Konami has put out legacy collections, and Contra was one of them. I wouldn't necessarily expect a Contra Legacy Collection 2 to come out, but if they do it, I would hope this game is awesome. It definitely deserves it. A little fun fact about Bahamut, though, he has appeared in what was a Japanese mobile game where you got to play as different Contra characters, and I never really looked into it. I think this was not a smartphone game, this was a Java phone game. Sounds a bit strange on the surface as you do, because I don't know why a lot of game franchises had a little something on old flip phones or what have you, but hey, kudos to the fact that Bahamut still got a bit of recognition at the time. So now we're going to now move on to our next mid-boss. We got another car. This one's a bit bigger. Just, watch what Aaron does. I don't even need to explain anything.
And the saw right at the freaking blade, freaking right as they do the freaking laser is perfect. That fast picking. It's like, yep, I'm cutting right through the boss. But yeah, and this came out in 2011. And when did the remake actually come out?
If you're talking about Operation
No, Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Oh, that's a good question.
When did that come out?
Oh, no, I forgot.
I think it was after. I think it was after 2011. Because it's funny.
Yep.
Because it's funny because if you look at his alternate attire, boy, he looks like Cloud, doesn't he?
Let's take a look and see if I can pick that one up right here. Because I believe it was April of 2020. So, yeah, 9 years in the making. And there's
Yeah, they definitely called it. They called this outfit alright. Ooh. Hidden onion ring. And Gradius, gotta love that callback. And Neon Knight Rider. Oh yeah. Now comes the ultimate question. Do I want to be Solid Snake in the next stage? Do I want to...
I think we all know the answer.
Hide in the box for a second?
Yeah, do it.
Alright.
I don't do just for a moment. You gotta show it off.
Yeah, gotta
Konami game.
gotta show that callback. Capital Laboratory, the stage that is freaking make or break your run. Gonna need you in this freaking one day, man. Alright, here we go. Let's find the box to hide in.
Alright. Let's see it.
Sound the alarm!
Yeah, if you're speedrunning this game, expect to hear that a lot. It's nonstop because as Aaron said, this is technically a stealth section, but we really do want to just go through this, and it's kind of easier to just shred through the doors no problem.
Sound the alarm!
Yeah, provided that you have the strong guns, which, yes, it's, I neglected to mention that this game does let you stack the same gun power-ups onto one another, which is what allows the gun power to level up. So, Aaron is at a perpetual state of level 3.
Yeah, man. And this game it pays homage to like a lot of Konami games that you just don't actually realize until like, wait a second. Now this here, the only thing that is missing is Big Fuzz. That's from Contra 3.
Yeah, it's interesting to see just how much you can recognize if you know enough about Contra. And again, this was well before we got Operation Galuga, which is the most recent entry of the franchise and was done by Way Forward. And it is a phenomenal remake of the original game. And then we also had a first game earlier, which if anybody watches Linkemeister's speedruns, you may know that he is a Contra Rebirth runner, and that was a WiiWare exclusive game where they, M2, basically took everything and just really spruced stuff up.
Hi, George. Aww.
Now, Aaron calls him George, but really his name is Dr. Geo Mandrake. Not to be confused with the character from Hardcore, because this guy is obviously not going to turn into a villain. No, absolutely not. Never. This guy would never betray us.
No, he wouldn't just freaking shorten, his name from George to just Geo. Nah.
But for real, this is an escort mission. We actually do have to help him. And the idea behind that segment is if he takes too much damage, he will die. But it's not to the point where you get an instant game over. Rather, you have to wait for him to get back up, but it does also take a life away from your character. So it's time lost, and it's also just inconvenience. But at least it's not like you completely fail the mission and have to start off jumping.
Unless you had 0 lives.
Unless you have 0 lives.
Although I do love how Operation Galuga actually freaking remade this freaking laboratory in their own way. And now, I have to ask you, man. Do you like jazz?
I like jazz.
Do you like trains?
Yes, I like trains.
And stand up because we are having a nice freaking luxury massage.
So this is the other auto-scroller chapter going on here, and yes, we are taking it on a military train that'll bring us to the Commonwealth. The overall plot of this game is the Commonwealth is an empire that's ruling the world government over here, at least in Japan, if I'm not mistaken. But it has been a while since I've actually looked into the world of Contra and what exactly this one covers geography-wise. But yeah, Tiberius the Emperor is not that good of a person. We are the Resistance. We're trying to take him out. We're trying to liberate the world. And the 4 main characters, so everybody except Leviathan, are representatives from a different portion of the world and overall makes up the general Resistance. What makes Sayori interesting, though, is she is actually Tiberius's adopted daughter. So if you actually play her campaign, there are personal stakes to the matter to that one, and I find that personally interesting. You notice that each character does have a little dialogue panel that sort of explains the details of the story in the loading screen, and yes, depending on who you choose, it will differ. And also, yes, different voice lines as well, because, when a character says something here, like Bahamut saying, "I hate spiders," somebody else is going to probably have something else to say, and, you know, all that stuff. I will admit Bahamut is the one character I play the most, and so I really only know his lines more than anybody
And
else.
he hates freaking trains.
I guess that is true too. I guess I just completely forgot about that one.
Yeah. Like, I hate trains. I hate spiders. Where's Igor? Oh yeah, it comes a little bit after the crash goes bye-bye. Can I get him to speak? Yes, I do. I am honored to die instead of him. Alright. Now comes the fun
So
part.
at this point, we are going to be coming up soon to a mini boss that I would say is one of the more casually aggravating ones, but also, you know, if you've played this game, you probably know what's going to happen. If you haven't, then let's just say we've got a bit of a robotic scare here, a bit of a Transformers situation, and no, this
It's
guy
the train
is sure
first.
is not more. Yeah. Oh yeah, we got the train first.
Yeah.
So I guess we are doing train versus train.
Yep.
But hey,
Alright.
at the very least, I can say I'm giving the audience foreshadowing.
Oh yeah. Because it's like, I always forget about this guy. Every now and again, I'm like, oh right, it's this one. It's not the other one. I stand right here aiming up going, oh wait, not yet.
Yeah.
Alright, gotta stand forward. No hill, no hill, no hill. Okay, no hill. This song works so well.
Alright, folks. So here we now come to what I was foreshadowing, and this is, well, yeah, okay. I don't even have to explain that first phase. We don't even see it for like 3 seconds. So rather, we're just gonna take a look at. I want to say this looks like Getter Robo if we have any old-fashioned mecha fans, you know, giant Robo fans, but really I can't even think of that being the best comparison to get.
Bioshock freaking cover.
I guess so. And, yeah, no, Aaron made that look like easy work, but trust me, if he gets aggressive, he makes his point very clear, and I'm not just referring to the fact that he has literal needles for hands.
He will throw the train at you.
He will, and it's the worst. Also, I hate spiders.
But it's 7 Force.
That is true. Shout out to Gunstar Heroes. I also run that game. So Arachne came in those 2 phases where we have the first one being as simple as shoot off the legs, and then it'll start to transform into our second phase, which the weak point will be on the sides of the body, and we do have to deal the damage there whenever those are exposed. But one last thing to notice before we officially train on into Chapter 7 is you have those train cars to explode when they take enough damage. That was the one thing that I should have mentioned way, way, way earlier, but hey, it happens.
Better late. But then never.
So, folks, this is where the climax of the game starts to really ramp things up. We are now in the Commonwealth's main headquarters. We are going to ascend up a tower. This is actually a cool level for a couple of reasons. One, a lot of verticality to it, allowing you to really show off the wall climbing mechanic, which is pretty fun to use, despite what some people might think. And when you apply the ninja jump power-up, which is one of Aaron's specially applied buffs that makes damage avoidance like very, very easy to do.
Yeah. Also, I have to catch an elevator.
Yes.
I have to catch an elevator before the elevator music hits.
Oh.
That's the fun joke.
Yeah,
I was like,
okay.
it's like, okay, I just bought this whole free soundtrack. I gotta use as much as I can. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I know. Elevator music.
So I'm actually gonna quiet up a little bit, and we're gonna see how Aaron manages this one. I will say, everybody, just listen closely, because yeah.
And everyone has their own. Everyone has their own elevator music.
Alright, here we go.
I say Freaking Leviathan is the freaking best one. That was a fun edit of Hollow. Because it fits Freaking Leviathan so well. Especially the green line of, oh, was it all a dream? Well, I never know. I'm like, dude, you are living a dream. Ah. Here, where are we? And now back to the Between Jay-Z song, already in progress. Alright, let's climb. Ninja jump works so well here.
And on top of that, we have a nice little trick that Aaron will be doing twice within a particular portion of the outside wall climbing. So there are a couple of helicopters that will spawn in those particular sections, and it was under by the Phantomeyer, I believe it was, that...
It was me.
No, it was you. Okay, so I guess there was... I was trying to think of which one.
Helicopter.
Helicopter
Kill.
Oh, the kill.
Helicopter
Okay.
kill and the freaking dual arm kill.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, either way, shout out to our good friend, the Phantomeyer, fellow Contra community member and one of the runners of this game. And of course, shout out to Slurpee.
And Slurpee Ninja.
So,
And even blast speeds.
now we got missiles. This is just an entire section where the elevators are both out of commission,
Yep.
and you got nothing but the missiles to ride up on. So try not to fall off too fast, because it certainly is not going to look good if you do.
No.
And also your gun can set them off early.
And it's Contra, so gotta have a missile ride.
That's true too. I guess I'm a little bit unfamiliar about other missile ride instances. I'm willing to believe it, considering how zany these games usually are anyhow. Alright, so unfortunately Aaron is currently stuck on only the pea shooter, but with other upgrades for Rising Mode like rapid fire and whatnot, it still has effect. It's a downgrade, but it's far from the worst case scenario.
True.
And here, by the way, that guy on the elevator was Tiberius. And yes, he speaks with a British accent. I don't know who decided that one, but fair on you. And
Oh, bad
now,
guy.
we have fire. Everything is fine, though, I assure you that much.
Yep.
And, well, not much else to say except we got our heated plasma gun. Now, the different types of guns, we should go over that while there is a bit of time. We got the super machine gun, very good for rapid fire. There's the laser gun, which has the homing shot and is very good for spread out. Heated plasma is a charge gun, so while rapid fire does allow you to shoot it constantly, it also fire much more. Spread shot, obviously a classic Contra entry, classic Contra power-up that speaks for itself. And then Ripple Gun is I think it's useful. It's not something that we prefer for the speed run because it more often than not doesn't really come in handy. But if you do have it, it does push back enemy projectiles and attacks and does send them back their way. So it is good. It's a short range, and again, it's just not really worth it unless you absolutely have to. And that's all the different gun powers to the game of
Epic right here. Epic with the music right here.
Oh, I forgot Crash Shot. Yeah, there was the Crash Shot. Which is a low-range, downward arcing missile. And yeah, that was like we had like Night Lunata. That's the last time we get to fight Leviathan. It was a more powerful mech. It was a pretty cool design, but sadly this thing is not even notable enough to get its own Bandai figure. So
yeah. I'm surprised that jump trick worked.
And now we're coming up to the Cerberus boss, which, don't worry folks, I wouldn't even think to call this thing a dog. It's not even close to the one we got in Hades, so no shame in admitting that we gotta put this thing down. It's also another casually aggravating boss, because the weak point is the underbelly, but this thing tries to get it out of the way if you give it the chance. This thing is basically a biological sling, in that it will go from side to side, and if it turns that belly upside down, good luck trying to hit it if you don't have something that can pass through its body.
Yep.
Yeah, once this level is done, that'll bring us on to the 8th and final stage. So Tiberius has made haste onto his personal airship. The resistance forces are starting to run a little bit weary and thin, so it's now or never. We gotta go bring the fight to him directly, otherwise everything will be for nothing. So, as you enjoy one final auto-scroller ride scene with our familiar-looking vehicle all the way over from level 1, Matt, if you got anything that you would like to mention at this very moment, I'd say this will be a good time to read any announcements before we wrap things up.
And on a strong note.
Well, as usual, the main thing I'd like to say is remember we are trying to raise money for the fantastic charity Special Effects. So please do !donate in the chat. All we need is £20 to hit our overall goal that we were trying to hit for the whole weekend. So please, if you can give, do give.
This song works so well on this stage. Between this and Annex, I don't know which one is more perfect. Now the gauntlet. Oh boy. Don't jump. Don't jump at the end. Don't jump. Just full rush. Get down. No electric slide today because I have everything.
Yeah, no boogie wiggle.
Yeah. I don't want to go get my laser on the rocket ride. Now the angle down so I can avoid the freaking ripple.
And yes, the ceiling does come down, folks. That is definitely not fun to get caught in.
What a leap of faith.
Oh man. Yeah, that was certainly something. So we are on the final stretch. We have entered the core of the ship, and the Vitus engine will come in 3 different phases. We start with 6 pairs of orbs, or rather, 3 pairs of 6 orbs, I should say. And following that, we have to destroy both orbs in order to proceed to the next group. We get the pillars that you're seeing go up and down here. Those will open up. We got to destroy all those, which I assume is like the equivalent to a cooling system. And then the Vitus engine itself, the little sphere in the center, realizes, okay, it's do or die. And yeah, it's constant bowling. So when that starts to happen, your best bet is to know the rhythm of how to keep shooting it with as many powerful shots as you can, so that once the health goes down as fast as possible, you won't have to deal with the high increased speed. And believe me, that does get to a point where it does become hard to keep track of. Because if that thing does not kill you by contact damage alone, it will throw you into the pit. It really will. It's happened to me.
It happens to everybody. And if you're with Sayuri, you are screwed if you're on the ground.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Oh yeah, you've seen it blindfolded.
I've seen it blindfolded. So, now we are coming up to the last portion. Chapter 8. Whoa! Okay. Okay.
Well,
Yeah, we're just gonna move on from that. And yeah, so we destroyed the floor. The ship is going down, and now it's about time to face Tiberius. And this is a
Epic.
rinse and repeat.
This is epic right here.
This is epic.
Watch and listen.
All right, we're gonna just shut up here and let y'all check this out with your ears and your eyes.
No arc.
Alright, so I guess I'll start talking.
Yep.
So Tiberius 1 is a phase that goes back and forth between him being able to catch bullets and then either using a grounded series of punches that are like dash punches, and then when you hear him do the go to hell, and just jumps around, tries to air fist into the ground, followed by also using sword projectiles. That's basically all he does. It just goes from one portion to the next, but if you hit him hard enough, you can't even do that much. So that's how you saw Aaron take care of that phase. Tiberius Augustus, which we just saw go down, that was a means of trying to one-cycle him because he will stomp the ground and it will force your character into the air. But aside from that, just using the heated plasma will shred health, and you did see him have to land one final hit as the game forces him to go into a stun animation before he. And then lastly, Tiberius and Invictus, where the head is the weak point. You just got to use our laser shot to knock him down, and then time will be on the last grab of the helicopter as a little callback to the stage. So get ready on that.
But you have to land on the helicopter. You
Yeah,
can't
no, you
just
have to.
fall. You can't fall and have it spawn. You literally have to.
The game won't end properly, otherwise I know it made me salty.
Try doing it without seeing.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, this is freaking Sephiroth right here, pretty much. Or the freaking white freaking Tiger Zord, take your pick.
Oh, and those helicopter bodies all do give different gun power-ups. As
Time.
per which, time. GG. As per which position they're in. So yeah, you actually have a lot of safety to make sure you have your preferred weapon in this fight. And yeah, that's the run. So, folks, thank you all so much for checking out Hardcore Uprising. Again, we would like to remind you that,
Whoa.
for one, this game is still available on the Xbox family of systems and is still very much backwards compatible. So whether you play this on a 360 or a One or a Series XS, this speedrun is very accessible and friendly to any generation of those consoles because, again, it's IGT, so it does not account for loads whatsoever. PS3 is still also available if that's more accessible to you. Of course, we'd also like to give a shout out to the Contra speedrunning community for providing a home for our game here within the whole Stoker community. We've got all sorts of cool runners that run all different sorts of games that have come out on many different platforms of Contra on the whole. Just, again, some wonderful people if you'd like to join our community, we do have a Discord link you can find on SRC through any Contra game page. Otherwise, I would also like to give a personal shout out to Studio 4 Degrees Celsius for doing the anime cutscenes. You might know their work for The Amazing World of Gumball, I kid you not, in that one scene where they literally parody an anime fight. There's also the Street Fighter OVA stuff. They've done a lot of OVA stuff. If you may have heard of their work, then you'd probably recognize that name. And yeah, thank you to UKSM for allowing Aaron to close this one off. I personally, once more, would like to apologize for the tech issues on my end that prevented me from being able to run my run. I certainly hope that if given the time and capability, we can certainly make up for that in the near future. But aside from that, we did manage to end this on a high note, and I couldn't be any more happier.
Hey.
Aaron, would you like to give any shout-outs yourself?
I like to
and,
shout out to the
plugs?
Contra. I like to thank you for joining in, because I overslept yesterday, so I missed my run.
Hey.
You know, so it was like, dude, we are not losing. We are not gonna miss this. Get in
We
here
won.
now. Get in here.
This was a team effort at the end of the day, and I appreciate you. You're a very good friend of mine and all that
Get
jazz.
in here,
so-
man. It's like, no, no. You're too good of a
Well-
person to lose out on this. Get in here. Get
Gosh,
in here.
gosh, shucks. I'd hug you if I could.
I know.
All right. Well, with all that considered, I guess for the sake of UKSM, I want to thank the event for having the both of us, and of course, just special shout out to Special Effect for all the work that they do. We managed to raise quite a bit of money for them, and looking forward to the next time we'll be able to support them. But if you'd like to find us, Aaron and I are here on Twitch, and we try to stream whenever we can. Aaron usually streams this game as well as whatever other runs that he's mastered. This
At
is
9
probably
a.m.
his most
every
consistent.
morning, pretty much.
At 9 a.m., yeah.
Which is basically about 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon on the UK time. So it's afternoon overseas. So you know,
Pretty comfy time, if I do say so.
yeah.
And I try to stream whenever I can. But I definitely recommend tuning into my social medias if you want to know when I plan on going live. And I think that'll be it for us. So Matt, we're gonna send this off to you one final time, and until we next meet, folks, ciao, amici.
Ciao.